What's up, everybody? Ghost Gamer here. I have gotten a lot of questions about this one in particular, and this is another military thing that I kind of find amusing because nobody really understands a whole lot of it, but at the same time, there's also that common, constant amusement between some people in the military that realize that not every branch of the military uses the same fucking jargon. But this is basically a video on jargon, or military jargon, sayings. We won't even get into this. Could be a, well, let me take a step back here. If I went through possibly everything that I could remember, this could have turned out to be a very, very, very long video. But I decided to take a clip. It's only about 14-15 minutes long, and I'm going to try and iron out a lot of the commons right quick and in a hurry. That way I don't bore you guys to death. So with the military, I mean, granted, you have to understand every branch has their own little tweak on jargon. Every branch has their own little sayings and all this other stuff. And not to mention, you also have, I swear, actually, military terminology should be a foreign language in of itself. Because we have our own way of doing shit, and it's not exactly the right way. But it is hard as shit for other people to understand us sometimes. But anyhow, you also have these like little dialects in between certain groups. Like, good example, something that you don't readily hear in the military, at least outside of the group that I was in, was Roger, Roger, Roger. But it's not what you think. It's not basically saying the same thing 3 times. Used in context, it was more or less like, hey, you know, and it was, shit. It was basically used, well, it started off being used on commos, but it also went out a little above and beyond just commo usage and started using it around town. But in context, you were basically like, you know, hey, what's Mike doing? Well, he's rogering his Roger, Roger. Or, you know, referring to somebody as rogering their Roger, Roger, was, you know, kind of like telling somebody else that they're fucking around or they're fucking off. Or if you tell somebody, hey, go Roger your Roger, Roger, it's basically telling them in a little goofy coded way to go fuck themselves. You know, stupid shit like that. You have other shit like, well, I'll just start somewhere. I mean, you got Bravo Foxtrot, which we love adding acronyms to the phonetic alphabet, but basically Bravo Foxtrot is either Blue Falcon or Buddy Fucker. That's the guy that's supposed to be your buddy, but yet fucks you, stabs you in the back, you know, gets you in trouble, shit like that. You have shit like behoove. That is one phrase that, or well, one word that I do not recall ever hearing outside of the military. My first sergeant would always fucking blurt that shit out. Well, actually, first sergeant and chief. You know, it would behoove you to do this. It would behoove you to do that. You know, stupid shit like that. Let's see here. Kiwi injection was another love of mine. But nowadays you can't really use it because fucking some of you new guys, you got it easy. We had to shine our boots back in the day, and now all you got to do is dust them off and brush them and condition them, and that's it. There ain't no kiwi involved. But basically, kiwi injection is exactly what you would kind of assume in dealing with boots. It's launching your boot up somebody's ass. You know, the whole kiwi injection, kiwi on your boots, injecting it in your rear. You know, stuff like that. And I really need to stop with the whole stuff like that bit. But anyhow, let's see, you have 8 up. 8 up like soup sandwich. Yeah, soup sandwich in of itself. That is basically when somebody is just not squared away, which is another term. They're not dress right dress. They're not in not in line. They're not they don't have their shit together. They're screwing up. They look like hell. I mean, it could mean a small variety of things, depending on what the context is used. Most of you should already know what foobar is, which is fucked up beyond all recognition. Snafu, situation normal, all fucked up. Let's see. Whenever you hear a member of the military or, you know, somebody refer to something as Mike Mike, or, you know, like a 40 Mike Mike, or 23 Mike Mike, 9 Mike Mike, fucking anything like that. Mike Mike is millimeter. You also have a standard, single mic, which means miles, so, you know, 32 mics is 32 miles. Or you can actually refer to it as meters, which at times can get confusing. So, you know, 300 mics is 300 meters. Not actual microphones, by the way. Alpha Mike Foxtrot, you know what? This did not stem from the A-Team. This is a military term before the A-Team was, well, the movie was ever brought up. And that, it literally does, if you've seen the movie, yes, it stands for Adios Motherfucker. But that is a good old infantry term that I've heard used plenty of times before I even think they even started thinking about making an A-Team movie. You also have terms like Army Proof, Barney Style. Well, Army Proof is basically foolproof. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. Usually you hear that from a bunch of fucking chair force kids. We refer to it normally as breaking it down Barney Style, which is basically breaking it down as simple as you can so even the dumbest motherfuckers can understand it. Whenever you hear somebody referred to as dick to ass, that is a literal comment, and it's not a gay one either. It's basically whenever you're in basic, you'll find that real quick if you go through basic training, especially when you're in processing. That is how you sit. I mean, normally you think of benches, you sit next to each other and all this other shit. No, in order to pack a shit ton of people on very small benches, they basically have you straddle the bench and you are sitting one behind another. So your balls or your dick is basically right up against the ass of the person in front of you. Likewise, the person behind you has got their dick on your ass. It sucks. But it is the easiest term to fucking think of whenever you're being crammed into a spot. You have different terms like, let's see, brain bucket, K-pot, all that shit refers to your Kevlar helmet. You have terms like broke dick and FTU. Broke dick basically means you're on a military profile, which means that you're not really allowed to do anything. You know, you're not allowed to lift, you're not allowed to exercise, all this other shit. Usually you're referred to as a broke dick. Or there's also another term called FTU, which is basically fat, tired, and useless. You can figure that out on your own. I don't have to explain that one anymore. Dependopotamus and cockholster. These two basically go hand in hand. Cockholster is obviously your fucking mouth. Somebody tells you to keep your cockholster shut. Yeah, keep your mouth shut. Dependopotamus is a nice, wonderful term used to describe dependents. Specifically, military spouses. They're generally, you know, overweight. They bring shame and disrespect, or well, not disrespect. You know, you don't want to admit that they're yours. They're kind of like a moped. You may want to ride it, but you definitely don't want anybody to see you riding it. At least I'm going to make that analogy. Active duty cats such as myself, you refer to National Guard as nasty girls. Usually. There's some other terms, but I won't get into those ones. We also had one that was, it actually stemmed from George Carlin, but we had one that we used where it was SOL JWF. So shit out of luck and jolly well fucked. I still use that one to this day. You got clusterfucks and gagglefucks, which is basically a group of disorganized asshats. No, of course, then you have asshats. You have, shit, brain fart. You have fuck sticks and shit sticks. You know, some of these things you can pretty much read between the lines. I'm not going to explain it any further. All right, this one I apologize, you know, up front. I'm serious about it. This one actually refers to Marines, in which there's a story about Marines, but that'll be later. But yeah, human bullet sponges. Usually it's either referred to as Marines or Army Infantry. What else? Deployment Queens. That one is probably going to get me... it's definitely not going to get me any female viewers. But, yeah. Deployment Queen is those females that you would probably never see yourself doing anything with until sometime overseas and a deployment zone. And then they start looking rather attractive, and yeah, you get the point. Retarded overtrained children. That's what we used to call the ROTC, or ROTC cadets. They didn't like that a whole lot. Another personal favorite is Shamurai. Not Samurai, but Shamurai. And that is basically somebody who has mastered the art of shamming out. Or doing absolutely nothing and getting away with it. Let's see, you got other shit like Stay Frosty, which I've seen more and more dumbass people that have never been in the military using that after they use that term in Call of Duty, which kind of annoys me. Basically, Stay Frosty is keep it cool. Easiest way to put it. You have the term for swag, which is not that goofy ass shit the little fucking teeny boppers and whatnot use. That is basically standing for scientific wild ass guess. So, in reference, you're just swagging out. You have no clue what the fuck's going on, you're just guessing. Unasked, basically, get your ass out of my fucking area. Or, you know, get your ass somewhere. Get off your butt. Get off of a vehicle, get out of a vehicle. You know, so on and so forth. You have another phonetic thing, which is Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, or what the fuck. You have... oh, shit. Donkey Dick, which is basically the spout for a jerry can or a gas can, 5-gallon gas can. It's called a donkey dick. And then you have, of course, the most infamous, which is Pogue. P-O-G. It's not Pog, by the way, it's fucking Pogue. Get it right. And that basically stands for person or persons other than grunt. I.e., the people who were not in the infantry or not in an infantry-related field. Good example, when I first joined the military, I was a Pogue. I was technically what would be considered as a member of a support channel. It was a maintenance thing. Well, I ended up going 31 Bravo and changed my MOS, which was an MP, which I was called a good variety of names back then. And then I ended up getting, well, my secondary MOS got changed to an 11B or 11 Bravo, 11 Bang Bang. More than, there's a shitload of different terms for it, but basically Army Infantry. That's the easiest way to put it. I was no longer a Pogue, I was a grunt. But that's about all I have for right now. I wanted to keep this in a short, relatively small time span. Like I said, there's a shit ton more, and I would probably beat myself to death trying to think of it all.
Wake up, goddammit.
If you have anything to add, which I know some of you sick motherfuckers do, by all means, throw that shit in the comment box below. I want to see it. I want to chuckle, and I'm sure other people do as well. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the little thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Share this bitch around. Keep coming back for more. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you cats next time. This is Ghost Gamer, and I'm out of here.